So for this project, I started with an 8x10 canvas that I covered with tissue paper with this real cute pattern on it. And I had actually done this last year and covered it with Mod Podge and then just never had time to finish it. So when I was going through my stuff, I pulled it out and I thought, oh, that might look real pretty with a Christmas tree on it. Fortunately, I did not film, or I did not save the film of me covering it with the tissue paper and Mod Podge. Next, I took these vases that I've picked up at garage sales and thrift stores. Before, I used to pass them by all the time, but now I've realized that they will make wonderful Christmas trees because the glass is green all the way through, the diameter is small, and it's very thick glass, so that when you nip it, the way I am, it will stand up on its own. So thicker glass is easier to get it to stand up than thinner glass, just so you know. So anyway, I just take the nipper tool and I go all the way around the perimeter. And there is one area that's really narrow and it's hard to kind of nip, but once you get past that, it goes pretty smoothly. And if some of the chunks are too big, you can go ahead and thin them out, and you can see how those all stand up by themselves. And I went ahead and I ended up nipping 2 of these vases. And I always worry about this glass being so sharp and people cutting themselves on it, and some of these I'm going to be making for gifts. So I decided I would try to tumble it for just overnight, anywhere from 6 to 12 hours, and it came out beautiful. So it still looks like the broken glass, but it is not like sea glass. You know how if you tumble sea glass for like a week, it gets real foggy and the edges are real smoothed out and rounded, and I really didn't want that because I wanted them to be able to stand up. And this is only after 11 hours, and they're not sharp at all. The points aren't sharp, the edges aren't sharp, you can run your finger along it. It worked out perfect. So after the glass was tumbled, washed, and dried, then I took my canvas, which I know is not perfect. Probably some people could have gotten it smoother than I did, but I think it still looks cute. And I started assembling the Christmas tree, and I tried to use the longer pieces at the bottom and kind of keep them spread out, and then make it smaller pieces and closer together as I go up. And it's a process. I mess around with this for, I think this whole clip is about 15 minutes, but I end up shortening it, putting it on speed to make it go faster so you guys aren't bored with it all. So you can see here how it's kind of empty in the middle, and now I'm starting to fill the middle in. And these pieces of glass actually add dimension to the tree because they don't sit flat. They actually can stand up on their own. So when you cut the glass like that, you usually end up with one flat side and one kind of rounded side. I mean, not all the time, but the majority of the time, and they will stand up and add dimension to your project. So here I go. I just keep on filling in the middle as much as I can so that they're all still standing up, and then after a little while I start taking smaller pieces and actually nipping some of the pieces smaller and just sticking them in all of the empty areas so that it's all filled in. The tree is totally filled in, and like I said, it does take probably about 15 minutes for me to complete the whole thing. And in the very beginning, I didn't show you, I had started putting it on and then took it all off and started over again. So it's not a perfect science or anything, and it's just a matter of opinion as far as how you want it to look. So the tree's pretty much done. Now I have to find something for the top and for the bottom of the tree trunk. So for the bottom, I actually have pieces of a bracelet that I had taken apart. One of the other things that I look for at garage sales and thrift stores are jewelry to make up, to use in all different glass art projects. And anyway, I take 3 of these and I place these down at the bottom of the tree to form the tree trunk. And the other thing I search for all year round is tree toppers. And I have made so many trees this year, I think I've run out of tree toppers. So I really didn't like anything that I had. And what I ended up doing was taking a wooden star. I had bought a big package of wooden stars from Hobby Lobby. So I took one of the wooden stars out and I actually painted it gold. And then you can see the pile of glitter up at the top of the screen there that I had accidentally dumped. I just picked some of that up and sprinkled it on the wet paint because I knew it would stick, and then just kind of shook it off a little bit as best I could, and that was perfect for the star at the top of the tree. At least I thought it worked out perfect. And it was ready for resin. The resin I used for this project was art resin. It's a 1-to-1 ratio resin that you mix together in a cup for 3 minutes slowly to prevent any bubbles. You scrape the sides and the bottom to help mix it thoroughly. So I usually start by drizzling it over all the glass first to make sure that gets covered, and then I go around the rest of the canvas. And this could have been another one. I could have put it on the canvas first. Once you have the glass on, it's kind of hard to spread it out, but you can do it. So like I said, then I'll put the resin on the canvas, and I'll usually use a gloved hand or a spoon to smooth it out. I do like for the resin to go along the edges also. I like the edges to be shiny. I know some people don't particularly care if it goes down the edges or not, but I do. And it kind of is a tedious process, just kind of smoothing it out all over the canvas to make sure everything gets covered. And sometimes the edges are the hardest to get covered. So this has to sit on a flat level surface overnight. By morning, about 12 hours later, you can touch it, but it takes a full 72 hours to cure. At temperatures between 72 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. I also want to mention that the canvas needs to sit up on 2 cups, because if you set it flat on your protective cover, the resin will drip down and your project will be glued to your protective paper underneath. So it has to sit up on some little cups to elevate it. I do use the heat torch to get all of the bubbles out, and it is in your best interest to cover it with a dust cover.
Hey everyone, my camera's a little crooked. It's being held on by tie wrap. Something broke on it, and I sent away for another one, but it didn't come yet, so hopefully I don't look too crooked. Anyway, this one I actually started last year, and I did not save the video of me Mod Podging this paper onto here. And this was actually tissue paper. So I saw this tissue paper and I thought, oh, that's so cute. And so I Mod Podged it onto this canvas. So when people use Mod Podge, they'll typically do it with tissue paper or with napkins. They'll pull apart like a 2-ply napkin and use the top portion, usually has the printing on it, and the back is white. So they pull that apart and they'll Mod Podge on. And I'm not sure which, I haven't done enough of it to know which is easier to do, but you can find some really pretty prints in napkins and tissue paper and stuff like that. So I actually started this last year and Mod Podged this on. And then when I was getting my Christmas stuff down, I found it, and that's when I decided to use some more of my glass for the Christmas tree and make a little Christmas tree on it and see how that would turn out. And I thought that turned out real cute. I hope you guys like it. So just something different instead of being on a plain canvas or on glass, just another idea, something else to make at Christmas time. I made so many different Christmas trees that I'm kind of running out of stars to put on top. And this is, you know, like you saw in the video, it's actually a wooden star that I painted gold and put some glitter on, which is a cute idea too. I really like the, you know, the brooches, if you can find a pretty brooch. So I'll be on my journey this year finding brooches for next year to put at the top of my Christmas trees. If I could think of another kind of Christmas tree to make, I feel like I've made them all. But anyway, and then after the camera went off, I did stick some, oh, there goes a couple. I did stick some of the red beads on there, and it had started to cure already, so I may have to actually glue them back on because some of them stuck and some didn't. I just saw a couple fall off there. So I don't know if you can see the red beads on there. They're real sparkly glass beads. But anyway, so I thought this was fun, something different to do. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Christmas is, oh, let's see, today is actually I think it's the 7th or the 8th. Yeah, the 8th. So this video, I'm not sure when this video is gonna come out, before Christmas though. And Christmas isn't too far off, so some of my videos are out of order, so you'll see the Christmas tree in the background here, but I think the one that comes out Friday might have pumpkins behind me because I kind of spaced them out, not sure, you know, how many I was gonna make. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to be notified of future videos, subscribe, and I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching.